in the story, the ballot proposition is it's a one-time tax, 5% of assets for people with a net worth above some level. And then that level, kind of moves around depending on who's talking about it. And by the way, depending on what's included and what's not included. And so I think in the current proposition, for example, they exclude property. They exclude like real estate. And I think they did that.
But stocks and bonds.
But stocks and bonds would be included. And so, if you were above a certain, and today it's starting out with a high threshold on wealth. And so today, just like the original income tax, on day one, it doesn't hit anybody. And then it's a 5%, and of course the argument is these people make 5% a year anyway, and so more than that, and so they'll make up for it, and then they say it's a one-time tax. But we know from the history of the income tax that this is how it starts, and then we know where it goes.
Right.
And then you smash cut in the movie. You smash cut 10 years later, and everybody's getting hit with it, and people are losing their houses because they can't. It's just you can't. Okay, so let me give you the twist on this in California. The twist on this is it's a specific punitive strike aimed at tech founders and tech companies. And so they have the calculation of the value that you owe is based on the greater of your economic interest in your company or your voting interest in your company. And so if you are the Google founders, as an example, you have what's called super voting stock, right? And because you want the company to have a long-term outlook and you want the founders to stay in charge. And so let's say, I'm making numbers up, let's say the Google founders own 3% of the economic value of their company, but they own 15% of the control value of their company, or say 55% of the control value of the company. The tax gets calculated based on the higher of those two numbers. And so for founders in the Valley, particularly private companies, but also public companies where they have controlled stock, if this tax passes, they instantly go bankrupt.
Jesus Christ.